Hey everyone, I used all of these molds and made some adorable Easter crafts with resin and jelly beans. They turned out so cute. Your grandkids, your kids will love them. Frogs and lizards and octopus and bunnies. Oh, the bunnies turn out so cute. And at the end, there's a surprise project with glass on glass and resin art that turned out so cute. For this project, I'm using ArtCast Designer Epoxy. Also in the box was a large bottle of UV resin, a bunch of real pretty mica powders, some alcohol inks, a UV light, some really nice stir sticks, and then a really cool love mold. For all these molds, I'm using the tiny jelly beans. They are about half the size of regular jelly beans. You can get them right up at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. So for all these molds I'm using, I do them exactly the same way. I put resin in the bottom, jelly beans in, and let them set up overnight. And like I said, I have bunnies, I have Easter eggs, I have matte molds, and I have shiny molds, and I'll show you the different. And plus I'm doing these frogs, and if you've never seen the eyes put in frogs before, I usually mark them on the outside so I can see it from the inside. I put UV resin in, and then I drop the eyes in and I push them into place with a toothpick. Put the UV light on it for a couple minutes. Make sure you do it from the outside. In addition to the frogs, I also have a lizard and a couple octopus. And for the frogs, after this had all set up overnight, what I did was I went ahead and I took some UV resin and put it in each of the toes of the frogs. And then I took some tiny seed beads and put a different color in each of the toes of the frogs. And then I put the UV light over it and set it up. And then for the little lizard, I used a new Let's Resin UV light. It's really nice. And I used some DICTION glitter UV resin. And it comes in all sorts of colors, and it's super pretty. And I used that to color the feet because the seed beads were just too big for the toes. And again, I put this under the Let's Resin UV light. Then for the octopus, I use this same DICTION. It's UV colored glitter resin, and it's, see how super bright it is? It's real pretty. And then I put that over the under the UV light. And then for all of these, they have set up for 24 hours or at least overnight. I started covering them with different colored resin. Use the Eye Candy Snowflake Mica Powder, the Let's Resin Ocean White Epoxy Pigment, the Bombay India Ink color purple or violet. I used several of the designer epoxy mica powders. I received several very, very pretty colors, a couple of them in neon. I especially like the neon pink and yellow. Then I start demolding them all, and these ones, the first ones had the Let's Resin Ocean White Epoxy Pigment mixed with the resin on the back. And don't those look pretty? I think those look cute because they're super, super clear, but it has a little bit of a backing. And these have the Bombay Indian Violet ink. But the difference between this is, for those of you who don't know about molds, there's actually shiny molds and matte molds. And the molds that have the matte finish, they come out as a matte finish on the front. So if you want them shiny, you're going to have to pour resin over the top of them. To protect the back in preparation for the resin, I put Elmer's glue on the back of each of them and pushed it up to the edges and then just let it dry. This does take a considerable amount of time to dry. This was it after 12 hours, and then I just used a heat gun to dry what little bit needed to be dry. Then I had to place each of them up on top of something. I used my little glitter caps to put the little ones on, and then a little measuring cup to put the big bunny on. And then I just started pouring the resin over them, and I also picked some of them up in my gloved hands and spread the resin around on them so that they would be evenly covered. And I just let them dry overnight. And you can see immediately once you put the resin on how they become so much clearer, and you can see the jelly beans. I think they look really cute. And then this is the next day. The resin's all dry and I'm getting the glue off the back. And when I pull the little cap that it's sitting on, a lot of the glue just pulls right up. It loosens it from the back. Sometimes you got to get something sharp to poke under there, but it really leaves a nice clean back. So here you go. Here I have to get the little toothpick. But really pretty much pulling the cap off loosens it. Okay, and you can see all those little bumps. And once you get the glue started, it comes right off. And that glue, Elmer's glue, is so inexpensive. I know they have other things like the silicone in that, but this works just as well, and I think comes off just as easily. Isn't that pretty? I think those are so cute. I also had done a couple of standalone bunnies, and these molds are all matte molds. And one of them I put tape on the bottom to protect the bottom, and the other one I did the same way with the glue. Both super cute. One of the bunnies has the ears standing up, and the other bunny has the ears pushed down. And that large bunny with the neon pink and neon yellow is so pretty on that side. And there it is on the other side, and that's a shiny mold, and this is the other three. Those are super pretty, and these are shiny molds. All four of these top ones are the shiny molds, and the bottom two that I call the kissing bunnies are in a matte mold, so they have a matte finish. And they need to be covered with resin to make them brighter. And you'll see the difference in how you can really see the jelly beans better when you pour the resin on them. So these Easter eggs here that I'm demolding, I'm actually doing a big project with tomorrow. And I think that these octopus and frog and lizards turned out so cute, and I did a bunch more frogs. I don't really like how it has so much orange in one spot, so mix up your jelly beans. And then here with these, I did the exact same thing with the Elmer's glue and let that dry and poured resin over the top. And these I'm also using in a project tomorrow. The bottom of this bunny, I put the Elmer's glue on the bottom, but the bottom of this other bunny, I used tape. And tape is a little bit harder to get off, but if it seems to be difficult, just get your heat gun out and heat it up, and it'll loosen a spot and you'll be able to pull it out. Just make sure you don't burn yourself. So here goes my final project for this video. I'm doing a real cute bunny scene on this frame that I painted yellow. Once that was dry, I flipped it over and I took Elmer's glue and put it around the perimeter of the back of the frame where the glass would sit. And then I replaced the glass and put Elmer's glue around the perimeter one more time. This serves two purposes. It helps to hold the glass in place, and it helps to prevent resin leaks. When you put resin on the other side, that's what will permanently adhere the glass to the frame. It takes overnight to dry and sometimes up to 24 hours. Next day when it was dry, I took painter's tape and put it around the perimeter as an extra precaution against resin leaks. I printed up a saying on my Cricut, "May your Easter be filled with many colorful treats," and I stuck that onto the glass. And that's the reason I had the bunnies set up on there, so I knew exactly where I'd be able to put it. It's ready for the resin. The resin I'm using for this part again is the ArtCast Epoxy Resin, and what I do is I go ahead and take all the bunnies off and dump the resin on, because it's much easier to work with the resin and spread the resin out when there's nothing else on it, if you can do it that way. And then I use the kitchen torch to get rid of the bubbles. I put the bunnies and the egg back on, and then I take some green glass. This is actually an ASHLAND decorative filler. It's a chunky, reflective gold glass, very small, smaller than the 1/4-inch fire glass that you would get on Amazon. And it's been colored with the Dr. Martin Bombay India ink, the color grass green. It's a real pretty green, really pretty green to use for Christmas trees also. And I put that on, and with the resin being under it, you don't have to put as much resin on top of it because there's a good anchor underneath it. And then I just go ahead and put some little flowers on. And remember, the smaller bunnies are a matte finish, whereas the large bunny is already a shiny finish. So I go ahead and put the resin on top of the matte finish bunnies to make them shiny, and then I continue to add little things. The little bumblebees are actually buttons, and I believe I might have gotten those up at Hobby Lobby, and also the flowers might be from Hobby Lobby, and some little dragonflies, just some little things to decorate it and make it look real cute and pretty. I use the rest of my resin and kind of drizzle it over the glass and wherever the flowers are to anchor that down. When I'm done with the project, I always come back every 15 minutes to check for glass placement, to retorch if I see more bubbles. I try to get down eye level to look at it to see if there's any sediment, and if there is, I get it out with a toothpick. Cast Designer Epoxy is a 1-to-1 ratio epoxy resin that you mix like any other epoxy resin. You can usually touch it within 12 to 14 hours, a full cure within 24 hours. You can pour it up to 1 inch. It has 0 VOCs. It's food safe, and its work time is 50 to 55 minutes. You need to read the directions for the resin that you are using because all resins are different. It's in your best interest to cover it with a dust cover. Hey everyone, so it was like a marathon of jelly beans and I think they're all so cute. I would think your kids or your grandkids would just love these, especially the octopus and the lizard and the frogs, well, and the bunnies too. But aren't they cute? I think they turned out so cute, and I love the bright little feet on the octopus, and look at how cute the frog is with his little colored toes. So I just think they turned out so cute. They were really a lot of fun to do, and the bunnies are adorable too. And I found after I was doing them that I liked the ones that had the white backing on them the best because it made the resin look crystal clear. Well, it is crystal clear resin. It's the Designer Epoxy resin. It's a real nice resin, but see how you can really see the jelly beans? And although I really like the neon pink, it kind of makes the resin look pink, don't you think? But I mean, that might be what you're going for. But I really like it with the white background because it allows that to look clear. And I did some with the yellow too. And these are the kissing bunnies. Let's see, yeah. And I'm doing a project with these tomorrow. The yellow's kind of pretty too. Those were cute. And all of these that were the shiny molds, they all stand up on their own. The other set that I did, these stood up on their own too. I don't know why those don't. And these fat ones, some of them do and some of them don't. You have to make sure that you fill them up enough. And, whoops, it's making a liar out of me. And like this purple one doesn't stand up on its own. He falls over. There's a little thing underneath him. But the eggs, of course, don't stand up on their own either. But the small bunnies all do if you make them fat enough, and those are super cute. And then these other two bunnies that I got that were the matte finish that I had to pour the resin over. I really like this one with the ears that are going up. This one's a little, you can't really tell what he is, but this one's super cute. I like that. And anyway, they were just a lot of fun to do. And so that's the matte mold, and that's the shiny one. And if you're buying stuff on Amazon, they usually have close-ups, and you can tell whether it's shiny or a matte finish just by looking at it. And I mean, you can make it shiny if you end up with a matte mold, but you know, who wants to go through all that? So I would look for shiny ones first. These I got on Amazon, and this I don't know, I might have got this one on TEMU. But anyway, and then if you ever see those fat rubbery molds like this, those are all matte ones, just so you know. But like I said, you can still cover them. So anyway, a lot of fun to do, and this was the project that I did at the end. I thought it turned out so pretty, bright and pretty. What do you think?
with the jelly beans. I wish the wording was a little bit fatter so that it stood out more and you could read it better, but it is what it is. So yeah, I just thought that turned out really cute, a lot of fun to do. And I don't know if you saw my project last year, but I used the same molds, but this time I didn't use jelly beans, I just used the different color. I don't know if I used mica powders or I don't know what I used. I'll have to go back and look at my video, but see how the words are so much fatter and darker, you can read them better. I just thought this was so cute with the different color bunnies, every bunny welcome. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the project. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps the channel. If you enjoyed the channel, go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell. You'll be notified when a new video comes out. We have the Facebook group going, an amazing group over there, very helpful, so many cool ideas. It's really hard for me to think of something different because they come up with so many unique, creative ideas over there. So come join us over there, and I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching.